This is the SourceMLS podcast with Mark, John, and Rich. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monday, the April the 4th. This podcast this morning. I'm joined by John, right. John this week.
No, Rich. I'm feeling very lonely in the booth here.
Yes, John is all alone on this side of the booth here. So to kick us off on this Monday morning, we've got John to read us the scores from last week's results.
Last week's? You mean this weekend's?
Or this weekend's and last week's.
Oh yes, because of course, in case you do not know, week 4 of the MLS has been over 2 weeks because of the international break. Starting with this weekend's scores. New England Revolution 1, New York Red Bulls 0, Chicago Fire 1, Philadelphia Union 0, Colorado Rapids 1, Toronto FC 0, Sporting Kansas City 1, Real Salt Lake 2, FC Dallas 1, Columbus Crew 1, Seattle Sounders 1, Montreal Impact 0, Vancouver Whitecaps 0, LA Galaxy 0, San Jose Earthquakes 1, DC United 1, and Orlando City 4, Portland Timbers 1. Of course, last weekend's games, there were only 3. New York City and New England Revolution finished 1-1. FC Dallas ran out 3-0 winners away to DC United. And Vancouver Whitecaps won 1-0 over Houston Dynamo. Our first game from this weekend, of course we only have 2 today because Rich is sadly not here. Mark, you were covering this. It was Chicago Fire versus Philadelphia Union.
Yes, Chicago against Philly at the Toyota Stadium. And the main thing I want to talk about is a missed opportunity, I think, for Philadelphia Union, because the first half they were very, very good in parts. Sapong had numerous chances. He could have had a first half hat trick. I think I tweeted that out during the live stream. He could have had a first half hat trick. Hit the bar twice. Good save from Lampson, the Chicago keeper. Very good keeper. And yeah, I mean, going to the second half, obviously horrendous red cards from Creval. We'll get onto that in a moment. And then a tremendous goal from Igbo who I think is a dark horse in terms of good strikers in the MLS. A lot of people talk about, Plata, Addy.
You got Carl Laren at Orlando.
A lot of people talk about these big names. Robbie Keane at LA Galaxy. People talk about him a lot. But I think this guy has really got a talent. I mean, if you see the goal, it's good play on the wing by, I think it was Harrington, and he just plays the ball into the box, which he shouldn't be allowed to make in that position. Defenders should cut that out. But
it's a great turn in the box.
It's a good turn in the box. I'm not going to say it's a Cruyff turn because it wasn't, but it was a very good turn in the box and buries it into the bottom corner. Do
you think that Blake in the Union goal should have had a better chance of getting it, or do you think it was just one of those?
No, he couldn't. It was the defender's fault. I think the defenders are at fault there. I mean, Igbo Onanike should not be allowed to turn and shoot in that position. He was just outside the 6-yard box. He's got a defender on him. He shouldn't get goal side. He should get goal side of him, the defender. I can't remember which defender it was, but he should get goal side. He should stop the ball being fed to him and stop him getting goal side, which he doesn't do. And if Igbo Onanike, he's done it in the past already this season, and to give him a chance like that, I don't know. I can't understand why. But like I was saying, I think Corral's red card. I mean,
of course, it finished 1-0.
Yeah,
and the big thing is Creval gets. In case you don't know, it was 0-0 at half time. Creval is sent off for a second yellow. I'm correct in saying.
Yes.
In the 47th minute. And Igbo Onanike scores in the 51st, actually 4 minutes later. Do you think the red card changed the momentum of the game and gave Fire that chance?
Definitely. Absolutely 100%. I couldn't agree with that more. At the start, the first half was a bit back and forth. I mean, the weather played a huge part in how the teams played. I mean, if anybody watched the game, it was torrential snow 1 minute, then it was bright sunshine like 30 seconds later. It was mental. I thought the game was going to be called off at one point when the ball wouldn't even stop in the diamond for the corner. He placed the ball down, it was kept blown away because the wind was that strong. But I mean, Philadelphia Union definitely had the better of the first half, but as soon as the second half they started the brightest, like the opening 2 minutes they were hammering Chicago's defence. I mean, they couldn't get the ball out of their own half or even their own box. And then on the 47th minute, Chicago managed to get a breakaway, and I can't remember who the challenge was on. I think it might have been Kosis.
It's Kosis, yeah.
Kosis, yeah. I think it might have been on him. I'm not 100% sure. But basically, he just chops him down for no reason. I mean, he's just trying. I think he's trying to stop the counter attack, but there's still no. There's a couple of defenders back there. He would have probably covered it.
Would you say it's a straight red?
Straight red depends on the referee. Some referees, I mean,
Bear in mind, he was on a yellow, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was on a yellow. I mean, we haven't got our resident referee in the studio with us today, so we can't get a full confirmation of what it arguably should be. But me personally, it probably would. I could see why it would have given it a straight red, but I mean, it would have been harsh if it was. But I mean, I just want to talk about the fact that it's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, the challenge that he made. His team was on top at that point. I know it was 0-0, but his team were on top. They looked like the only team that were going to win that game and score, especially considering the fact that chances that were given in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that he did that, he was a big body in the middle of the park. He won the ball back a lot in the first half. He stopped a lot of attacks from the Fire. And once he was sent off, they lost that spark, and Chicago Fire got a lot of motivation from that. And if I'm honest, the 1-0 doesn't show a reflection of the actual play of the second half, because Fire hammered them for about 15 to 20 minutes after that. They should have had 3 or 4. I think on commentary for Sky, they were saying they should have had 2, 3, 4 goals. But then again, in fairness, you can say that about the Union in the first half. But I mean, Igbo Anike is a very good player. I gave him the man of the match. I think he deserved it. He was creative. He was their one bright spot for the Fire in the first half, in the half that lacked real clear-cut chances.
Would you say Union were unlucky to get anything out of this game?
I just think it's... Anytime a striker or any player hits the bar, you're going to say you're unlucky. And to do it twice, I mean, the first strike, first time he hits the post, Sapong, it's just a strike from outside the edge of the box, like just a bullet strike that hits the post. It's really unlucky. Could have gone. I mean, I'm not saying it could have gone in, but I mean, a player from the Union should have possibly anticipated it, possibly getting deflection or, like I say, hitting the post and maybe hitting the rebound. But obviously, a bit like what McNamara did for New York City. But obviously, this one would have been much more difficult than that one. But the second one was, I think, a header at goal. It hit the crossbar. Again, anytime you hit the crossbar, even more so, you think you're unlucky. But I mean, they should.
The one thing I want to ask is, because you had the first opening game of the season, New York City to Chicago Fire, at home to New York City, 4-3 madcap game. Do you see a much better Chicago Fire side now? One that's kept a clean sheet, that's finally got a win. Do you see Chicago Fire starting to form up a bit? And bear in mind, they, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time this season they started with 4 at the back.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I mean, Brandon Vincent was on the bench, and he started, I think, every game this season, playing as like a wing-back sort of player. And they've been playing like either 3 centre-backs or like 5 at the back, and like playing wing-back sort of thing. Obviously, going back to a traditional 4 at the back, on the face of it at least, has shown that. But I think the reason they didn't concede in the first half was down to their keeper, Lampson, because he pulled off some very good saves, which a lot of keepers may not have made. And again, I think the Philadelphia will be ruining the chances that they missed, and the fact I think the coach will be fuming at Creval for getting sent off.
There's 2 things I want to say. One, there was a very humorous thing because you were live tweeting the game. You put out at halftime who's been the best player, and someone tweeted back saying Chicago Fire's best player has been the post, which I did find rather humorous. The other thing I want to say is, bring back to what I just said. In your eyes, have Fire improved from what they were in that first game?
Defensively, yes, because obviously they've been shipping goals a lot this season. Let me just find out here how many goals they've conceded.
Hang on.
They've conceded 5 goals this season, but they've scored 5 now. But 3 of those were in the
New
York City game.
First game of the season. Yeah.
Exactly. So
no, 4 of those first game of the season.
No, 3.
They lost 4-3, didn't they?
Yes, they scored 3.
Oh, I thought you said concede. Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Apologies.
But they conceded. They conceded 4 in that one game.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Do you see improvement? That's the big question.
Defensively, yes, improvement. I mean, attacking-wise, I think they missed Akam through injury, which I will apologise for my tweets at the start before the game. Obviously, I got a few bit of stick for that, so rightly so. But yeah, they definitely missed him through injury. A key player for them. Any team would miss him. But I think in Agbonike, they've got someone there who can at least get on the end of passes and
someone who's got the flair.
Yeah,
and the
he has a bit of flair about
still.
him. There's something about him where he's just like he's got a bit of flair about him. But I think going back to a traditional 4 at the back definitely helped the Fire. Do I see them getting the playoffs this season? Maybe, but I think they've got to get a few more goals in the team. Get more goals in the team. I think they've got a shout.
Would you say Fire are a dark horse to nab the last playoff spot?
Well, we're talking about the Eastern Conference, and I mean, you pick a winner out of that. No team has been consistent. I mean, the only team you can say who's arguably been consistent is Orlando, and they
yet to lose. The only team.
Yeah, they sit at the top of the table. They're only one of 2 teams I think who haven't lost this season. Oh no, one of 2 teams. I think KC haven't lost yet.
KC lost the Real Salt Lake this week.
Did they play Salt Lake?
Yeah, they lost 2-1.
Yeah. You're right there.
I believe it is only.
Is it Orlando? That's the only one left.
Orlando, and I want to say
Orlando, and Salt Lake.
Salt Lake, yeah.
Orlando and Salt Lake are the only 2 teams unbeaten, and Salt Lake on top of the league.
Hang on. What about Vancouver?
Vancouver have lost 2 games.
Oh yeah, ignore me.
Yeah, but yeah, Orlando are the only side in the Eastern Conference that have shown even the remotest bit of form. 2 wins, 2 draws. And I think the reason we'll get onto the game later on against Portland from this weekend. The attacking players that they have are tremendous.
But going back to Fire Union, out of either of these teams, do you see either that you think from the way they played in that match alone could make playoffs? Ignore what the table currently shows.
I think either side can take positives from the game. Fire will be ruining the missed opportunities, obviously, and Craval getting sent off the coach will be very annoyed at that. But Sapong showed the attacking flair that you want to see in a striker. Mm-hmm. He took shots. I mean, yes, I think he got unlucky, and yes, the jest of Chicago Fire's best player was the post. That's a jest, yeah. But I mean, Sapong is a very good player. He's seen that in the past season and this season as well. If he'll get goals, there's no doubt about that. He will get the goals provided he doesn't get injured or something like that. But he will get the goals, and both sides, I think, have the potential to maybe not necessarily win the conference, win the league, but at least get playoffs. And when it gets to the playoffs, you never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Right, moving on. Was to my game. Colorado 1, Toronto FC 0. Solignac with the goal. Solignac, sorry, I apologise. Big talking point, of course, is another red card. Oh, joy,
we seem to be getting red cards a lot this season. Every week we have at least 1 red card to talk about.
During my game, on my tweet deck that I was using, 2 things came up a lot about, especially from Toronto fans. Toronto's kit and the red card. That literally
2 very different things, but somehow have very high
both
importance.
Involving red, may I ask?
Yeah, both involving
there was a lot of Toronto fans criticising their kit for not being red enough, and then
not red enough.
Yeah, I know. It was
Is that
weird.
compared to the red card that was shown? Do you think?
Yeah, literally the minute the red card went off, Twitter exploded. Toronto fans expressed a lot, just some neutral fans expressing that so far this season, they're saying that MLS referees have not been up to standard, and I have to say, this game is not helping them. Okay, so straight from the kickoff, you've got a good match in this. Rapids, who started off not so well, lost out to San Jose, but have picked up form. Meanwhile, you've got Toronto, who won in the first week, but lost the week before. And so you've got they both a win, a draw, and a loss for these 2 teams going into week 4. It started off a fairly good game before, in the 11th minute, Giroud, the French centre mid for Toronto, gets a yellow for a pretty silly tackle. I mean, it was a bit stupid, and it was easily a yellow. I don't need Rich here to tell me that one. However, according to the timing, it's 2 minutes later in the 13th minute. I wouldn't even say it's that. It was barely a minute. Giroud goes up for a jump, and I'm just trying to find out who it was against. I believe it was against Powers, sorry. Goes up for the jump against him. And as he jumps, if you ever watch a footballer jump, they use their arms and their elbows to get more leverage, to momentum. And as he's coming down, he clips Powers with his elbow. He gets him pretty hard, but I wouldn't say it's a yellow. I'd say he's steadying himself. Oh, the ref walks straight over, gives him a yellow, and he's off. We're 13 minutes into the game, and you've got a team down to 10 men.
Did the referee even have any hesitation, or did he just go straight away in their yellow?
He went to walk over, and of course, as you always do, you get all the players crowding around.
Yeah.
And I was through the commentary. I heard the one thing that really disappointed me was the Rapids bench all went up to the fourth official and were going, "Oh, red."
Now, see
that one
that really annoys me because
that I find disappointing. Because
it's not right.
I just don't like it when players, managers, whatever, try to pressurise the referee. It's bad. Full stop.
See, they do it in the Premier League in England, where if the players crowd around the referee, that's a booking.
Mm-hmm.
That's or if not a booking, some sort of subsequent punishment.
Yeah.
And whether that's been enforced in the MLS, I'm not entirely sure, but clearly not, because it's disappointing to see. I mean, the referee's job's hard enough as it is without having the opposition players and backroom staff crowding around him saying, "Oh yeah, you've made the wrong decision there, or you've got to do this, do that."
But here's the thing: before the crowd around him, I'm pretty sure I could already see him reaching for a card. And if you're on yellow, that means you're off.
So
personally, okay, Toronto fans may have all right to disagree with me on this. I don't think it's a yellow. He's gone to steady himself whilst going for a header.
Is he looking at him, the player? Does he know the player's there?
He doesn't. I'll have to watch it back, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't. He doesn't even glance at it. He sees the ball and he jumps for it.
Just put it in context. What area of the pitch? What situation?
We're
literally
of the game? About 5 meters out from the centre circle.
Right. So is it like a free kick or just a cross or something like?
Oh, it's the ball's just in the air. I think it just went from a tackle and went up in the air.
Oh, it's like deflected in the air, right? Yeah.
And it's literally about a minute and a half after his first yellow.
So it's literally just trying to grapple the ball. He's just trying to get the ball.
And the ref's just giving him a straight red. And I used it for the Cali Classico when I said the red killed the game. And I won't say it killed off the game in this one, but it killed Toronto.
It's very early in the game, like 13 minutes. I mean, that's a
13 minutes.
It's a long time after that to play with just 10 men, especially a very important midfielder in Sheru.
And bear in mind, Toronto are playing 4-3-3. And so at this point, you're down to 4-2-3. You've got 3 strikers out, but only 2 midfielders.
They're out-and-out strikers as well that were playing, weren't they, really? Could any of them really drop back?
No, they're Babuli, Giovinco and Lovett. All pretty much out-and-out going forward players. None of these have any real history of playing in the mid. So it just seemed to cripple Toronto, in my view. And they couldn't get forward. And Rapids, I'll give it all faith to them. Rapids went, right, we've got the advantage here. Let's go for it. And it only took them 5 minutes to get the goal after the red card. Solignac, there was a hint of offside. I thought it was on, personally. I know a lot of Toronto fans on Twitter and other social media vented that being offside. Papa flicks the ball over the defence. None of the Toronto guys drop back. And Solignac filling in for Kevin Doyle, of course, who's injured on international duty for Republic of Ireland. Finishes well. Taps in the back bottom corner. But it just crippled Toronto. You're a goal down and a man down within 20 minutes of the game starting. And you're away from home. How are you going to get back into the game?
They're lacking confidence, Toronto, at the minute. I mean, they've not won since the opening game of the season.
Yeah, this is two defeats on the bounce now. And the other thing I've got to say, 27th minute, they do a sub. They take off. I feel very sorry for Lovett, because he started the game actually pretty well for Toronto. But they took him off for Osario, because they just needed another centre mid, but they just couldn't get into the game.
So
Colorado made the man. This is also the other bit that really, really gets me, and it's my biggest criticism of Colorado Rapids for this game. That the man advantage they made count because they had almost all the ball all the game. They ran the game. However, they didn't score again, and they had some really, really good chances. I was watching this game thinking, how are Rapids not 4-5 up by half time? There's a great chance which falls to which on the breakaway. And it falls to Papa. And as he goes across, he tries to get it across the box to Azira. But he can't get his man. And there's only one guy back. I think it's only more... no, it's Perquis, sorry. The only one who's got back. And literally, all he's got to do is find Azira. And Azira is basically just got to tap it past Irwin. And he misses. And there was literally a catalogue of chance after chance after chance after chance that they really should have finished. And I was just watching this game going, come on, you got to put one of these away now. Rapids had so many... It's what worries me. Rapids are starting to pick up form. And But I'm pretty sure if they hadn't have got the red card, I don't think they would have won. And that really disappoints me because at times they played some great. The front three they've got of the Albanian Gashi, Powers, Papa, and Solignac were great. They really had some good chemistry going. Really started to click at points. But they could not finish. They created lots and lots of chances, but they could not make it finish. As for Toronto, it was, as I said, it just seemed to kill them off.
Do you think, and this is just a thought I've had, do you think they rely too much on Giovinco to produce some bit of magic to get the goals?
Yes, I do, and that's what I was going to go on to.
Because everyone seems, if Toronto don't win, all it seems to go on is Giovinco's been bad, he's been obviously not the same player, blah, 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 blah.
I think it was more Giovinco didn't have as much service. But...
Yeah, because, I mean, they lost Shearu, and that's a key midfielder in a tough midfield battle, like you were saying, and losing a midfield like that for the majority of the game, I mean, that might be why Toronto didn't get the goals, because they just couldn't get the service to the strikers. And who did they bring up, when they took Lovitz off, who did they bring on?
They took Lovitz off for Jonathan Osorio, centre mid.
Centre mid, yeah. So he obviously recognised that after the conceded the goal, he needs to get that midfield battle back, which obviously didn't work because otherwise they would have got more goals.
The one that I have in my head that I would have put on Delgado.
Yeah.
Delgado is a midfielder who can go forward.
When I've watched him before, he's been alright, very good this season when he's played.
Here's the thing, lining up from left to right, if you're going from the Toronto end, it was Giroud was on the left of the midfield, Bradley in the middle, Johnson on the right. All kind of playing a sort of centre mid position. I would have moved Bradley out to the left, kept Johnson on the right, kind of pulled him back as centre defensive mids, and I would have brought on Delgado as a forward midfielder and played it like that.
Select players like a number 10.
Yeah, it plays a centre attacking mid sort of style. So then you've still got play going forward to Giovinco and Babuli. But I'll give it to Osorio. Osorio's still good, but I mean, Toronto's best chance in my view came for a free kick. Giovinco had three free kicks, 2 which went over, 1 which came close. He forced a very good save out on McMath. But
so in terms of,
again, it's another game that's a red card's really damaged it.
Yeah. So in terms of, obviously we're talking about we're 5 games in for some teams. How do you see it playing out for Toronto and Colorado? Starting with Colorado.
For Colorado, hang on, we just go to Western Conference a moment.
Fifth in the table.
They're fifth, 4 games played, 2 wins, one draw, 1 loss. Bear in mind, they've gone from the loss to the draw to the wins.
And let's just have a look at it. They're 3 points behind FC Dallas, who are top of the table with a game in hand.
But then again, they're only 4 from bottom.
Well, then again, that's just the beauty of this early stage of the season. But say, Colorado Rapids were one of the teams
they've got, in my view, I was really impressed, especially with Solignac. When you're not the out-and-out striker, I see so many strikers who get given the chance of first team and they don't make it. Solignac really proved it. With his goal, that is. However, it's the one concern I have about Rapids. I think, in my view, so far, Rapids are starting to prove to me that they could be very good. That they could be in with a shout of 5th, 4th, 6th, lower end. However, they need to finish the chances they create. There were so many times where they should have killed off this game. And Toronto just could have not replied to them. They couldn't get out there. There was a bit where I swear for about 10 minutes, Toronto couldn't even get out of their own half. Papa was just running the show, playing it left and right. But they could not finish their chances. They could not put it away. And that's what they need to do. They need to be more ruthless.
What about Toronto though? Because like we're saying, obviously, I think that they might over-rely on Giovinco. You certainly do as well. So do you think that if he doesn't hit the form that we know he can do, like got him MVP last season, they're not going to push for playoffs or even the top of the table as well?
Yeah, I think I'm worrying for Toronto.
Because the fan base they've got are very, very passionate.
Yeah, they're very passionate.
Very, very. Not to say that all the other teams' fan bases aren't, but these are really, really passionate fans. I mean, like they're getting on the backs of their own players.
Yeah, they're passionate behind their team.
They deserve a success, I think.
Oh yeah, after never ever getting playoffs and finally getting playoffs last season, only to sadly get absolutely dumped out by their Canadian rivals. Impact. It was unfortunate, but I worry for them right now because, I mean, you've gone from a win and then to a draw, and now it's 2 losses on the bounce.
They have played 4, like we're saying, they're one of the only team to play all 4 games away from home.
Yeah, but
They have to start improving. I think
one thing that got me is Ndoa. Ndoa, who's played I believe he's played every game apart from this one so far for Toronto. Really impressed me. I know Lovett should be given a chance. However, I would have started with Ndoa. But if you look at bear in mind, Osorio's kind of still seen as a attacker. He's still seen as a forward. You look at the bench for Toronto. You've got Roberts, goalkeeper. You've got Williams and Morgan, defender. You've got Delgado, who's a midfielder. Arguably, Osorio maybe is a midfielder as well. But if you count Osorio more as a centre forward, you've got 3 of their bench positions filled up with attackers. But you've only got 1 out-and-out midfielder. That's not a good idea. And I really think... I don't know if a change of formation's in call, or maybe that they should switch back to Ndoa, but I think the over-reliance on Giovinco is both their strong point and weak point. Strong point because if Giovinco's on form, he's running the show, and we all know what he can do. He's proved it at the highest level in Europe, and he's proven it at the highest level here in North America. However, if he's having a bad game or he's not getting service, Toronto get crippled. And this is what happened. They got doubly crippled. They got straight off centre mid out the game, and then from that, because of the centre mids out you're down to 10 and the centre mids out the game, Giovinco's out the game. And then there was no real reply they could bring.
Right. So just to summarise, in one word, Colorado playoffs, yes or no?
From here, I'm going to risk it and say no.
Toronto, yes or no?
No. I don't. If you just go from, that performance alone, no for either of them. Toronto because they had no reply. Colorado Rapids because they were not ruthless.
Right, okay, I think we could go on for quite a while here, John, because getting quite animated in the studio.
Am I not always?
Yes, as always. Right, we're going to... ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the feature that's not been around for a few weeks.
We've missed it.
I think you've missed it. We certainly have.
It's time.
It's Team of the Week!
Team of the Week.
Team of the Week.
Here
right,
we go.
For those of you who don't know, this is where we, usually 3 of us, put together suggestions on who we think should be in the Team of the Week based on recent performances in the recent game week. Because it's been like sort of a double game week, 3 games in the previous week and obviously games this week, we're going to include last week's fixtures in this team as well, because obviously we didn't do one last week.
So of course the 6 teams that have played twice have an advantage. So it's being Dallas. Hang on, let me get this right. Dallas. Hang on, stop moving the games around. I'm trying to read them. That'd be New York City, Revolution.
New York City haven't played twice.
Haven't they?
No.
I thought they had.
New England have. DC have.
New England have, sorry. New England have played twice, DC have played twice, Dallas have played twice, Whitecaps have played twice, and Dynamo. So the 5 of them, of course, have an advantage.
Right, we'll see if any of those get in this team.
We have no Rich this week, so it's going to be 2 of us.
Yes, so this might go a bit quicker. Right, so starting with goalkeepers, I'll let Jean pitch his idea first.
Usted. 2 clean sheets. There's no way to argue with that one in my view. There's only one guy I think that could go up against him, and I've got pretty sure that Mark's got him in his team.
Sights.
Penalty
saves and 2 clean sheets. For me...
No, he hasn't. He conceded a clump screw.
Fair enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not watching us on Periscope or when we put the YouTube feed, you should just see Mark's face just then, because his happy little face just grimaced as he turned slowly to the computer.
Yes, he may have conceded, but he saved a penalty.
Yeah, however, I watched that game, and as good as the save was, it wasn't a great penalty.
Right. This is the downside we're having 3 people, because usually we have the third person to make the verdict.
I'm
now we're going to have to get very, very let's get the word. Very good decision making here.
I'm just going to say he's pulled out 9 saves between the 2 games. Usted 2 clean sheets. He's done a great job, and personally, I mean, his save. Come on, if you haven't seen it from the LA game, his save against Zardes is absolutely ridiculous. Point blank range, Zardes smacks it at just to the side of him, and he brings out one of the best reflex saves I've seen in a while. We're talking Tim Howard level of quality. Some of the best saves you've ever seen.
Okay, I'll concede Alstead goes
So Alstead is in the team. Shall I go first with the defence?
If you may, yes.
My defence, again, another Vancouver player.
Let's go for centre backs first.
My two centre backs, Hedges for Dallas and Tierney.
Even though Tierney's a left back.
Is he?
Yes.
So this is a thing with a fantasy team. Unless you have too many left backs, you're not the centre backs.
Yeah, he's a full back. Yeah.
Okay, Harvey then for Vancouver.
Harvey.
I thought he was a right back, but I'm gonna have to play him there. So.
Right, mine have been Spielberg for Colorado and Kappelhoff for Chicago. Kappelhoff made some very good, decent tackles in key positions in the first half against the Union. Second half didn't have many to make, but again, he still played very well. That's why he got in. Spielberg, Colorado Rapids, another clean sheet. Can't really argue with that. I like to say, I mean, I know you can say like kept Giovinco out, but then again, according to John, he didn't have many chances, but. I still think any team that keeps Giovinco out again should get a mention.
I will agree on Kappelhoff.
Kappelhoff, yeah.
However, I will still argue the case for Harvey for Vancouver.
Okay, well, we'll put Harvey in. I'll go for my fullbacks now.
Yep. I've got a feeling we're going to agree on this one.
Right, left back.
This could be a first.
Left back, Tierney.
What a surprise! I have Tierney too.
Yes, Tierney, yes. Where did you put him, though?
On mine, he's a centre-back, but then again, it's just because I'm reading it straight from my sheet and it just goes left to right.
Time when Football Manager doesn't come in handy. Right, yes, Tierney, very good performances. In particular, in the first game against New York City last week, I mentioned that in the last podcast, he played very, very well. This week, kept a clean sheet against the Red Bulls, who are very disappointed a lot this season so far, but still you've got to get the result.
Was good going forward though as well.
Good going forward again. He's a proper out and out. He's attacking a fullback, probably the best in the league. I want to say it. He's probably the best attacking fullback in the league. I think he deserves to go in. Do you think so, John?
Yep, I agree with that one. The other one I've got is Breck Shea for Orlando. Who may have conceded.
Strangely as well, I have as well.
Because any defender who can score a goal like that simply has to go straight in Team of the Week.
Let me ask you something. The little stumble that he gets before he passes the ball into the player in the box, do you think he meant it or he actually stumbled?
He stumbled.
The
commentator, great thing if you listen to it, the commentator goes, did he mean to do it or was it all a ruse? Nope, no offence Mr. Shea, but I'm pretty sure you nearly went A over T there. But no, Breck Shea definitely I'd say Team of the Week. That's our back four, I'd say.
Yes, that's quite a good back four.
I'm saying
and good back five if you count the keeper.
Yes, I'm going with a 4-4-2, of course.
Me as well. Do you want me to go first for midfield?
Sure.
I've got two Dallas players in my team, purely based on the performance from the week before. Diaz, obviously very, very good the week before, and Barrios. 2 goals, very good goals. He got onto the end of passes. I think he deserves a shout, getting 2 goals against albeit sub-average DC United that week. But I think you still got to take your chances, so I think them two deserve to go in. Don't know about you, John?
I'd agree with Diaz. I would, just because in the second game against Columbus Crew, Diaz was still there for Dallas. Barrios, not as... Actually, no, I'm going to give Barrios just for the fact that...
Oh, is Barrios going?
I'll give Barrios. I'll give Barrios ahead of Diaz, thinking of it.
Oh, Barrios ahead of Diaz, oh my.
But no Diaz in my view.
Oh, dear.
I've got a different player who is a New England Revolution player to go in.
Okay.
I've got Diego Fagundes.
Oh.
Had a fantastic game against Red Bulls and a pretty good game against New York as well. Was running the show in my view. Very good midfield player. I'd say he needs to go in.
See, I originally put Fagundes down, but I have a player who I think you may agree should go in. That has took his place. Kaka. Yeah. 2 goals, 2 assists and a goal. Sorry.
I've also got Kaka in my lineup.
Well, so. Kaka's going in now, so that's straightforward.
I'd say Fagundes ahead of Diaz, because Diaz didn't...
We've already got Barrios in, so Fagundes will go in. But the other player I've got is Morales for Vancouver.
He did have a good game. What's the argument for Morales? Please say.
Had a very good game. Created numerous chances. Scored the goal, of course. Created constant threat against Galaxy. Even though he didn't get the goal, obviously a clean, quite a 0-0 draw there. But he got the goal against Houston Dynamo, who that most outscoring team so far, biggest scoring team this season so far, with 11 goals. So, I mean, that's my shout. I mean, I don't know about you. But...
Mine against it is Lamar Neagle for DC United. And yes, I know...
You got a DC... After you slated them, everyone will say you slated them.
Thing. I did... And here's the thing where I doubt I'll win on this argument. Game against Dallas, he was really bad. However, the game against San Jose got an assist and was really closing out that San Jose midfield and closing out Wondolowski as well, which really says something in my view. That's my argument for him, but I think I've lost this one, haven't I? The only reason I say it, though...
We've only got 2 midfielders in Barrios and Kaka so far, so there's 2 more I've still got to go in.
The only reason I argue... No, let's go for it. Morales and Neagle, I'd say finish ours out.
And who, sorry?
Neagle.
How do you spell that? Just make sure I get it.
You can't spell Neagle? Neagle. I can't spell it, jeez.
Neagle, okay. Right, that's the midfield.
2 up front.
2 up front, right.
I've got another Dallas player here.
Okay, I haven't.
Who have you got? Who are your 2?
My 2. The first one is the player who I watched in the game this weekend. Igbo Nanike, constant threat against Philadelphia's defence, even in the first half when they probably weren't the better side. Constant threat, creative play, gets the goal, very good goal, deserves to go in my view. Second striker is one that hasn't hit the ground running until this weekend. Who a big name player in the MLS has done, or been there, done it, but hasn't done it until this game. Clint Dempsey gets the goal against Montreal Impact, a very good Montreal Impact side who we are tipping for the Eastern Conference, I think.
I didn't, but you and Mark, Rich did.
I have a thing. I mean, feed the drog. If I'm not going to say it, if Rich isn't going to say it, I'm going to say it.
Rich would be proud of you.
Yes. I haven't personally watched the game, but I heard that Seattle possibly were lucky to come away with a win.
But you'd still put... he did pull off some great play.
It was some good play, and I still put him in the team because he got the goal that got him the 3 points. And it's the first 3 points. It's first win this season. Mm-hmm. So they're my arguments for the Debs too.
I'd agree with Dempsey, however, I have a different opinion for the other striker.
So wait, Dempsey's going in. Right, let's hear your argument.
Luis Solignac for Colorado Rapids.
Okay.
Has been second choice to Kevin Doyle so far this season, but came in and took his chance well. And whilst I will freely say that he should have got more, I think he played very well. And to come in from not having much game time, to go straight in, command the line and go, right, going to get my goal, going to prove it well, I think there's no other argument. And to win the game for Rapids, there's 3 points they desperately needed.
See, I don't know. I mean, I could say the exact same thing about Igbo.
The only one I'll say about Igbo and Nike is he's potentially a midfielder, as they did play him as CAM.
Yeah. I have an idea.
How so?
What we should do is leave it to the audience to decide.
We're going to leave it to the audience. Are we going to put a Twitter vote out?
Put it to a vote.
Is this a Twitter vote I hear?
Yes, we have a vote. Well, let's do a vote for the first time ever.
We need a Twitter jingle.
We need a vote to decide on things that us as a 2 or a 3 can't decide.
Ooh.
We need one, and I think this is a perfect opportunity to do it because I am adamant about Igbo and Nika. You are adamant about Sognak. So
I am.
So I think up until we get a verdict, I think both should go in. Just and see, and the other one gets kicked out depending on who wins the vote.
Is this like a duel to the death? Whoever wins.
Well, I won't say death, but duel to the SourceMLS team of the week,
which is duel to the starting 11,
which is as a prestigious title as any.
There's a pretty prestigious one to have.
Or shall we contact Rich Cusack?
Oh yes, we could contact.
But then we're reliant on him getting touched. So instead, we'll just open it to the public. I think that might be more exciting.
It could be more exciting. Yeah,
more exciting. Right, let's do that. So Igbo and Anike.
Yep.
Is going in there, and then we'll have Solignac. Okay, that's our team of the week. So I'll just read it out to you just to confirm it. In the goal, Ousted. And then as a back 4 from left to right Tierney, Kappelhoff, Harvey and Shea. A midfield of Barrios, Kaka, Neagle and Morales. And a front 2 of Dempsey and Igbonanike or Solignac. Right, now then. Fantasy football is a tough thing these days, but one that I have not found as challenging in recent week. In this week, I think John would agree.
You're starting to come back.
I'm starting to come back. I'm not going to say I'm going to be up there, but I'm coming back. Let's just have a look at the league table, shall we? Let's just have a look. I mean, I think we don't need to say who is top because...
Same man as always. Same man as always.
Yes, I mean, we can't... I mean, Nick Baker, I don't know how you do it, man. Shout out to you, my friend.
Absolutely destroying this league.
I mean, you're destroying
94
us.
points.
94 points this game week, but me personally, 78 points this game week, second highest score this game week, but I'm still in 10th position.
Well, joint 9th, technically.
Joint 9th with my mother in Gerard's Gems.
You can tell we're British when we say me mother.
My mother. Feed the Drog, Rich Cusack in 8th, only 3 points ahead of myself. Didn't have as good a game week as me, but then again, you're still ahead. Our resident here, John Date, has moved up positions into 5th place after a good game week of 72 points. Now on 232. Pete's Pirates is 2nd place here. I'm going around the table, I apologise, but he's on 2nd place, 262, followed by the best name in the league, Did You See That? With Ollie Hodges. Shout out, my friend.
Our resident expert on League MX.
Again, I'll say it again, we need to get him on the podcast.
We haven't got any... The Mexican League hasn't done anything. Once we get to the CONCACAF Champions League, I
think we just need to get his opinion on the MS in general.
Then again, we have some other friends who we might be getting on soon, if I'm correct in saying.
Right, I have been chatting to New York City podcasts,
whoop, whoop.
fan podcasts. Shout out to you, my friends. We had some good chats again over the weekend. I listened to your podcast. We're very big fans of it, all three of us.
Mm-hmm.
And just
put it like this: if you want to know anything that's going on with New York City Football Club, they are your one stop to go to. Yeah. Trust me, a great podcast to listen to. When I need something to listen to, when I'm doing some work and I want to listen to something.
When you want to find out how New York City work and the minds of a New York City fan, they're the ones to listen to.
That is the place to go.
Former players galore on there. They're very, very good. I don't think there's anything much to say in this podcast, John. Do you think?
There's not much else to say. We will return on Friday where we will have the build-up for the games we're going to go for. We'll have a few other things. Hopefully we'll be a little bit more conclusive on who we're going to have on the podcast in a few weeks' time. Rich will be back, of course. But aside from that, this is all from me. It's all from Mark. Thank you for listening to the SourceMLS podcast.